I am Amarachi Ubani. At least one person has been confirmed dead in the two-story building that collapsed today at Glover Court in Ikoyi area of Lagos. Earlier, 4 persons were rescued by emergency officials. They've been rushed to hospital where they're receiving treatment. The two-story building, which is still under construction, caved in this evening, leaving several persons trapped. Officials of the Lagos State Emergency Management Agency and other rescue workers are currently at the scene, combing through rubble to rescue more people. A statement from the LASIMA says the agency has already activated the Lagos Emergency Response Plan for all first responders to move to the site of the collapsed building.
Let the towing people move in and clear all people, clear the way. Our operation was swift, prompt, effective and efficient. With our local emergency team on ground, we are able to rescue 4 alive. However, operation is still ongoing. You can see my team using a combined light duty equipment and Delta. We want to ascertain that there is no living person in there, and that is why we are using the light duty equipment with our Delta, which is a sophisticated equipment, to detect if there's any living person inside that building. We will be combining all these sophisticated instruments to achieve a good result. And we are looking at doing a sort of reconstruction in that place and redevelopment to assure and to make sure there's a safety in this area.
We do hope they find those people as soon as possible. In the meantime, traders at the ill-fated GSM market in Maiduguri, Borno State, are counting their losses, with early reports showing 46 shops and several temporary cubicles razed by the fire. The Federal Service in Borno State says the composition of the market did not allow free passage for firefighters that responded to distress calls. A committee set up by the state government, consisting of commissioners of relevant ministries, security personnel and the fire service officials, are already investigating the cause of the disaster and the extent of damage.
The cause of the fire at the GSM market, popularly known as Jaguar, is still a mystery to traders, as everyone is left guessing what could have caused it. Owners of the affected shops watched helplessly as their investments went up in flames, unable to retrieve anything.
Everything inside the shop, the phones, screens, and any other thing got burnt. We just came in and saw the ashes. It's unfortunate. And we're pleading for the government to help out.
The federal firefighters want the government to ensure availability of access roads in the markets and public places going forward, to enable ease of access for emergency workers to contain the spread of fires.
We realized that our appliances cannot come into the market. So we devised and created an access from Amadou Bello Way so that we'll be able to arrest the fire from escalating into other residential area and the neighboring shops. At the end, we were able to put out the fire in good time.
In another part of the city is an ultra-modern GSM market built by the immediate past governor Kashim Shettima and commissioned by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo in May this year. The building remains under lock and has not been in use since its completion. The lawmaker representing the Maiduguri Metropolitan Council says the House will work with the state government to see to the opening of the new complex and the renovation of the burnt market.
When the governor returned from his trip, we are going to forward our complaint, and he is going to intervene so that we will see how he is going to support them to bring back their businesses to life again. If they want to stay here, we will plead to the governors if he can rebuild this place so that they can operate also from the 2 different markets.
The market has been temporarily shut as the debris is evacuated in preparation for renovation and resumption of business activities.
From Maiduguri to Edo State, where the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, has been speaking on reactions trailing the country's economic policies. Mr. Emefiele is unrelenting in his belief that the border closure will yield positive results. The CBN boss says the closure should address some of Nigeria's security challenges within a period of 2 years. Mr. Emefiele was speaking at the first convocation lecture of Edo State University, Yamo, where he also maintains that what some have described as the Apex Bank's unconventional policies have been useful in ensuring the stability and growth of the country's economy. It appears the police is not leaving anything to chance in the conduct of elections in Kogi and Bayelsa states on November 16th. The Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, says over 66,000 officers will be deployed for election duties in the two states. He, however, warns that the force is already aware of politicians mobilizing thugs ahead of the elections, and anyone who tries to compromise the process will be arrested and prosecuted. The police chief was speaking at a joint security meeting with the Independent National Electoral Commission in Abuja.
Many voters in Kogi and Bayelsa states are no doubt counting down to November the 16th, the scheduled date for the electorate to elect their governors and 2 federal lawmakers. However, security is a major concern as the date for this exercise draws closer. This is the reason why INEC is holding this security meeting with heads of security agencies in Abuja.
There are already warning signals in the two states. Both are politically volatile. Elections have been severely disrupted in the past by violence. Our own risk assessment, which will be shared with the security agencies at this meeting, has identified some flashpoints. We are also concerned that thugs have been mobilized from within and outside the states with the aim of either influencing the elections or disrupting the process on behalf of partisan sponsors.
23 political parties, 2,548 polling units, and over 1.6 million registered voters are expected to participate in the Kogi election. In Bayelsa State, 45 political parties will be on the ballot, and over 900,000 registered voters are expected to participate in the election.
We are aware of this.
The Inspector General of Police addresses the gathering on his security strategies.
In Bayelsa State, we are deploying about 31,041 personnel to cover the election. In Kogi State, we are deploying about 35,200 personnel to cover the election. These personnel are to cover every terrain in the two states. We have done some threat analysis in the two states, and we've deployed some of our personnel in advance in the states to deal with those threats before the day of the election.
The Kogi and Bayelsa elections are expected to provide INEC the opportunity to implement some of the recommendations arising from the conduct of the 2019 general elections.
The Kano state government has approved a death penalty for anyone found guilty of kidnapping across the state. The governor, Abdullahi Ganduje, gave the order while receiving 9 children abducted from Kano and rescued in Anambra State. He also inaugurated a commission to commence an inquiry into cases of missing persons from 2010 till date. Our correspondent, Idris Jibrin, reports.
These children were separated from their parents years ago. They were kidnapped and sold in Onitsha, the Anambra state capital, some for adoption and others for forced labor. The police say tracing the abducted children and arresting the suspects did not come easy.
In an effort by the Commissioner of Police to combat the menace of cases of missing child in Kano Metro Police, on 12 September 2014 at about 15:00 hours, one fall on a 38 years of Ebonyi State.
One of the suspects speaks on the activities leading to their arrest.
I called the boy Umar Farouk. I don't know his name before. It was when we come here and no one knows his real name. So we now get the boy, we take it to Onitsha, to Ebere's house. So the day we take it to there, me and my madam. So we now...
Is your first victim?
Sir?
First victim. First victim.
That is that Umar Farouk.
That yellow boy?
Yes, Onyedika. He's the first person.
You take it together with...
My madam.
The Kano State Governor Abdullahi Ganduje says he is not happy with the development and has directed the review of the laws on kidnapping and a review of the penalty.
I have already directed the State Minister of Justice to amend the relevant provision of the Penal Code laws of Kano State that provides for the punishment for the offender of kidnapping from form of imprisonment to death penalty.
The governor then ordered the distribution of 1 million naira to each of the pupils to cater for their well-being, and further directed their parents to make sure they are enrolled in school within the state, since education is now free and compulsory for all children.
Already education is free and compulsory from basic to secondary education. So that one, there is no problem about that. You will enjoy free education in Kano State. And in addition to that, we promise to give you free university education. And also, in order to speed up your acclimatization, in order to speed up your integration into the society that you left many years ago, the Kano State government has offered 1 million naira to each of the children.
The commission is expected to submit its reports to the state government in 30 days, as this will give the state government the needed direction to determine the necessary measures to put in place. Idris Jibrin, Channels Television News.